I don't know about you, but I'm thinking Toyota's GR Performance sub-brand is starting to look pretty well-rounded. Not only has the 86 fan favourite found a new generation, but so too has a Toyota Supra, the legend. Also, Toyota's economical hatches haven't gone without the high-performance treatment either. The GR Yaris, the GR Corolla, and now this, the most serious of the lot, the GR Corolla Morizo edition. It's a special edition with a lot to it, so let's get stuck in and I'll show you everything you need to know. If this is the first time you're hearing about the GR Corolla Morizo, chances are you've already missed the boat on securing one of the 25 units making their way to Australia. Sorry about that. It's a flagship variant of the two-strong GR Corolla range which begins at $77,800 and will no doubt breach the $80,000 mark once it's delivered on the road. It inherits the title of the most expensive Toyota Corolla to ever sell in Australia. But then this is no ordinary Toyota Corolla either. As you can see, this is a Corolla for the die-hard track enthusiast. Bits changed on this car compared to a regular GTS variant include these 18-inch BBS forged alloy wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tyres. Very serious stuff. Up on the top here, you've got a carbon fibre reinforced plastic roof, which you'll note comes from the GR Yaris. And inside the cabin, you've got the deletion of the rear seats, which saves 10 kilograms alone. Up front, you've got a pair of semi-bucket seats, which are unique to this Morizo edition variant. And this car also gets an increase in 30 Newton meters of torque. It also gets a unique set of gear ratios to make the most of that extra output. The GR Corolla Morizo edition is also about what's been left out rather than added, all in the name of saving weight. It gets a single zone air conditioning unit instead of dual zone. There's a 2-speaker stereo system in place of the 8-speaker JBL unit of the regular GTS variant. It also goes without a parking sensor system. It does have a reversing camera, which is helpful. There's no wireless charger, there's no heated steering wheel, and there's no satellite navigation. All of this combines to a 30 kilogram weight saving over the regular GTS variant. Under the bonnet is the same turbocharged 1.6 litre 3-cylinder engine as the GR Yaris and GR Corolla. Like the GR Corolla, it produces 221 kilowatts, but it gets an extra 30 Newton meters of torque, so that rounds out to 400 Newton meters overall. Like I said, it does get a unique set of gear ratios which make the most of that extra torque. It gets limited slip differentials on both axles, while the Morizo edition suspension has been tweaked to include monotube dampers with wider diameter cylinders. In practice, this is set to enhance heat dissipation and damping impact response. And if you're wondering what Morizo means, it's a former head of Toyota's racing pseudonym. A bit of a left field name, sure, but it's one to impress your mates with at the racetrack. Now, let's get into the drive. Okay, here we are, GR Corolla Morizo edition. Now, let's just take it easy the first few laps and see how we go and lean into it as we get a little bit more confident with how this car behaves. Now, first thing you immediately notice is the steering. Everything feels very well connected and there's a lot of feel through the wheels. You can feel exactly what each of the four wheels is up to at any given point, and you can certainly gauge the level of grip levels as you're powering into a corner and then leaning out of it again as well. And I'm standing on these brake pedals, 4 pots at the front, and the braking performance is certainly very, very strong. Now, Toyota has made changes with the gearbox to make the most of that extra 30 Newton meters of torque. It's a closer ratio in gears 1, 3, and in the final drive as well to extract the maximum out of that extra output. And you certainly feel that it's a close ratio box and certainly very well suited to this tight and twisty technical Broadford circuit. Now at the moment we've got the intelligent manual transmission on, so that will do your rev matching. You don't have to worry about heel towing. It's very convenient, and let's just say that I'm not missing the engagement of a manual heel tow transmission on this tight and technical circuit. It makes life that much easier. And the outright punch from this engine is really, really impressive for a 3-cylinder 1.6 litre. The adjustability of the car's line mid-corner is so easily managed with the accelerator. You really just come off the throttle and it'll bring itself back in line, and then as you exit through the apex, you put your foot down again and the car opens up. It is very easily managed and very progressive as well. Just before I had a little bit of a moment coming over this wide right-hander, and you'd certainly feel it get loose, and then you sort of just do a little bit of steering the other way and the car rights itself without much of a worry whatsoever. Now the brakes are very strong as well. It's very tight and technical, and the steering is very darty as well. This is a whole load of fun, and I'm really jealous of those 25 people who will be getting one. The shift action as well is really, really, really nice. Very intentional. I'm actually getting the hang of this. It makes performance driving that much more approachable for people who aren't as familiar with track days. And even though it does look like a wholly serious bit of kit, it is actually really approachable as well. This thing is a whole load of fun. I know I'm just on a racetrack here, but it feels like even if you take it on public roads, you'll be having fun no matter the speed you go. Everything inside the car is super intentional, and you feel like an actual race car driver, even though you're just going Monday speeds. So inside the cabin, differences to a normal GR Corolla GTS model. This car has a suede steering wheel with a red 12 o'clock marker. Obviously you have that digital instrument cluster where you can see all manner of information. And other differences as well, you've got a suede lined gear shifter here, 6-speed manual transmission. A suede lined brake, which if you do pull that does disengage the drive to the rear wheel, so it really does step its back end around, and it's a whole lot of fun. Don't ask me how I've tested that. Oh, actually, I can say that we're on a racetrack, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, that is a whole lot of fun to get the car rotated around and have a bit of fun with. And these sports bucket seats as well are very, very grippy, holding you in place around the corners. I will say that I'm 6'4", so I don't have a lot of space with my helmet on my head here, but it's certainly manageable, and I don't feel like I'm overly cramped at all either. The sheer level of grip out of this thing is absolutely bewildering. As we do know, it has those Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tyres, which really, really do hold on for dear life. And certainly some of the better tyres you can put on a road car. Another thing you'll note is the obvious lack of 2 rear seats, and even though there aren't rear seats in place there, you can actually hear a bit more of the exhaust coming through to the cabin, which certainly sounds really cool. And I remember with the GR Yaris, there wasn't actually that much noise out of the rear end, but this is a different story. There's actually a whole lot of noise coming through the cabin, and it really, really sounds quite good. 3 cylinders just sound good in general. There is no doubt that this thing is a whole load of fun on a track, but I would even love to have a drive of it on open roads. I think it would be just as fun. Let's not beat around the bush. The GR Corolla Morizo edition is an extraordinary piece of kit. Yes, it's eye-watering money for a Corolla, and its practicalities no longer align with the Corolla nameplate, but for the dedicated track enthusiast, this piece of hardware, you can't do a lot better than it. If you want to know more about the 2023 GR Corolla Morizo edition, head to Drive.com.au for the full review. Also, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you've enjoyed, and you can stay up to date with all of our future content.